Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Horror Room. I'm Travis Bruce, and today we're doing another Women of Horror Spotlight. Today I have with us, she's a screenwriter as well as a filmmaker, and she has two screenplays that are upcoming screenplays. One is already out, one she's working on. The first one is called Virgin Zombies from Hell. By the way, I love these fucking titles. Virgin Zombies from Hell, and the second one is called Toxic Pussy. I have with us Diana Curry. Diana, welcome to the Horror Room.
Hi.
Pleasure having you on. All right, so let's jump in. It's a pleasure. All right, so let's jump right into it. Tell us a little bit about Virgin Zombies from Hell.
Well, I come up with the title first. I really like the title, and so then I wrote the screenplay to fit it. So I set it in the future where it's more puritanical society. Basically, I just say at the beginning, it's puritanical because of political, attributes and all these things. Just go with it. There's a lot of zombies. I mean, a lot of virgins.
Because I can imagine it's tough enough to be a virgin alone, but then also to be in a zombie. I mean, that's a lot, Diana.
Well, whenever somebody watches the movie, I hope they haven't seen this yet and they'll watch it after. For 3/4 of the movie, I want everybody to believe that it's just a regular zombie movie. And what do zombies do? They eat brains. Mm-hmm. My zombies don't eat brains. My zombies like to have nookie.
Ooh.
So whenever they have sex with somebody who's a virgin, that turns that person into another virgin zombie from hell wanting to have sex.
Okay, so Diana, this is an interesting story. What makes you come up with the concept of this film?
I just come up with the title first, and then I just had to make it fit the title. And so I'm like, well, I need virgins, and I want them to have sex, and because nobody sees that coming.
No,
I don't write movies for myself that anybody else has written, because if I've seen it, then I don't want to do it. I want to do something different and unique, and they haven't really had that. And so again, they'll think for like 3/4 of the movie that it's just a regular zombie movie. So whenever they say things like whenever the first zombie corners the girl in the graveyard and she goes, "Don't eat me, don't eat me," and he goes, "Oh, I'm going to eat you," and then we cut away. Later on, when you find out what they're really doing, you go, "Oh, now I see."
Because I mean, this is breaking some of the rules of horror. Because, like in most horror, if you're a virgin, if you're the virgin character, you're usually safe from being killed.
Yeah,
and that's one of the ways. To be quote unquote Christian like is the way to survive a horror movie. Don't have sex, don't do drugs, don't be an asshole, don't be a slut, don't be, just overall a bad person. And now, from this movie, even virgins are not safe.
Well, but in this movie, there's not technically a bad person. Because, as I said, it was set in the future where people are waiting till they're going to get married before they have sex. And so then Peter and Sarah get married, and they're on their way to the honeymoon. She tries to give him a little something in the car to tide him over, and they wreck and kills him. So she's depressed, and she's lonely, and she wants him back. And so she tries to do the black magic stuff to bring him back. It never goes well. And so when she brings him back, and he has that unfinished business of the honeymoon night. So all he wants to do is have sex. So he can't be blamed for wanting to have sex.
No, not
and
at all.
She didn't mean to bring him back that way. She just wanted him back because she loved him. And when he has sex with these other people that seem to enjoy it and can't be blamed because now they're forced to do it because they're zombies, who's really losing? Now, what happens is that, and I wrote this before COVID, society breaks down because everybody's just wanting to have sex. So nothing's getting done, no work's getting done, nothing's getting made. And so, of course, that can't go on. And so then she has to send him back to the grave. so that society can then function. But in the meantime, political people and religious heads, they're not sure what to do because, I mean, they're not killing anybody. They're just having sex. So it's a conundrum.
Now, Diana, do you think that there will ever be? I mean, listen. Right now, I'm 41 years old. All right, so I was born in the early 80s, and I remember sex being kind of taboo growing up. I mean, even in the 90s, it was kind of taboo. But now we're into this generation with Gen Zers and millennials. I'm an old millennial, but the younger millennials, where sex is like whatever, like like even women are like sexually free. They're like, I don't care. I'm sleeping with 6 guys right now. Don't
Yeah.
don't judge me. Don't slut shame me. Don't do any of that. Do you ever see that there will be a point where we revert back to those days where where
Yes.
sex is kind of stigmatized. It's kind of you have to wait till marriage. Sex is before marriage is a bad thing.
Well, when I started writing this, no. But I just needed virgins for the title. But now I'm afraid we are because of abortion, birth control pills. Things are being taken away that are leading to a more puritanical society. So who knows? It could go that far.
Wow. Now, how long did it take you to? I know you're still working on editing it. Now, how long did it take you to write the script?
Well, I'm old school, so it takes me a while. And the first draft is just the first draft. But I take my ideas and I write them down on index cards. And then I move them around like in those murder podcast things to try to make my story fit and make sense. And like, well, if this happens, this has to happen first. And so then I move them around and then I put them together and then I start writing by hand because that's just the way I do. And then after I write it, then I type it up and then I go back over it again and then I fix it. So I'm going to say this one is probably going to be 3 months from start to finish.
Wow.
So.
Now, without giving anything away, because I think I'm probably going to ruin your movie by saying this. By the way, I have not seen this. I have not read the script. But so these zombies are now having sex. Are we going to? I mean, which probably might lead to. I would say, are we going to see women getting pregnant or zombie women getting pregnant in this movie?
It doesn't last that long. It doesn't last that long. They're just having a good time.
Okay. So straight to the point.
And the zombies aren't regular looking zombies because they have to look doable. Who's going to do them if they look disgusting and they're rotting? So they're distinctly, the special effects person is going to have to come up with something that is easily identifiable as a zombie, but something that would still somebody would have sex with.
So, okay, so this is consensual sex.
Well, it's a fine line, but which is worse, a zombie eating your brains or a zombie showing you a good time? So.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm trying to think. A zombie having sex with a zombie or getting killed. It depends on what the zombie looks like. But I agree with you. So it depends on what it looks like, I guess.
Yeah, the person has to look doable. They have to look still sexy in their own zombified way. Or, then it would be a little bit different and it would be gory. There's not too much gore in Virgin Zombies from Hell. It's more a raunchy horror comedy.
And yes, because so my day job is that I'm a mortician, so I see a lot of dead people on a regular basis, and I'm like thinking like, have sex with a dead person. I mean, a zombie. I mean, yes, they're dead, but they're still alive. But I mean, listen, even if they look good, they still have dead odor to them. So like,
well, I didn't think of that because
okay.
do not have a sense of smell. I've never been able to smell
Oh,
anything. So I
okay.
never took that into consideration. But he's freshly dead. He hasn't laid
Okay.
in the ground very long. And all the other people don't even really die. They just
Mhm.
revert to a zombie.
Just
So,
like that.
mhm.
So I'm looking forward to seeing this because it sounds like a hilarious movie. Now that you say it's somewhat consensual sex, but it sounds like a hilarious movie, and it
Well,
sounds like it's going to have something new that horror fans definitely have not seen.
yeah, that's what I want to do is new things that have not been done before. And if you'll recall back, like with the vampire legends and stuff, that was a way for the girls to be able to have sex and not get in trouble because, well, it was a mist and it come into my bedroom and, his eyes hypnotized me. And
Mhm.
so maybe they wanted to, but they wanted to and not get blamed. And so that's kind of what this situation is because they're having to wait till they get married. And
Mhm.
maybe you haven't gotten married, and you're 28, so you're not exactly, once you know what the zombies want, terrified of them.
And you're rocking the T-shirt too. Let's see a
Yep.
good shot of. Look at it. Love it.
And the tagline is zombies need love too.
I love that. I love that. So because zombies do need love. I mean, we all need love. Vampires need love. All monsters will need love.
Yep.
Now, so what got you into? Because I mean, you're working on several projects right now. But what got you into horror filmmaking?
I just like those kind of movies. I just have always watched them. And in 8th grade, in a very rural part of West Virginia, back before reality TV, Mrs. Rock said, we're going to have a writing assignment. You can write a poem or a short story or a children's story or whatever you want. And I said, well, then I think I'll write a movie. And she said, oh, you can't write a movie because you have to film a movie. And I said, again, this is for reality TV. They don't just follow people around hoping they'll say interesting things. There's got to be a script or something to go by. And so I just taught myself how to write a script.
And how long have you been making horror films?
Well, I've been taking care of family, but I've written other types of things for other people. Faith and Asphalt in the background there, mockumentary about street preachers and just different things. But my first movie, Creature of the Night, I made down in Atlanta, and it came out in 2006. And then I've been out of the business for 14 years, but I'm getting back into it now. So I've got 4 scripts right now ready to go and several already almost locked and loaded. And most of them
Awesome.
are horror movies or horror comedy.
Now, taking that much time off, is it hard to get back into the flow of writing?
It's impossible in West Virginia almost to get into it again, but my dad died and I had to come home and take care of my mom and sister. So what can you do? But I mean, I'm trying. I've got a manager now. I got a manager this past week, Matt Chasen, and so hopefully he can sell Sacred Ground, a religious horror themed one that I have, and then I can use that money to make Virgin Zombies from Hell or Toxic Pussy.
Love it. And but back in 2006, you made your first one. Now is we're looking at 2024. What are some restraints, some negatives, some cons, and some roadblocks that you're seeing that are now in the way of indie horror filmmakers that you didn't see back then? And what are also some things that are a little bit easier?
Well, I guess it's easier to get your movie on Amazon and Netflix because back then the distributor put it on Netflix and Amazon and stuff like that. And now you don't have to have a distributor necessarily. So that is easier. But I would say that it's easier to make movies, but you get lost in the whole stream of all the horror movies. It's hard to stand out. So that's why I want to have things like Virgin Zombies from Hell and Toxic Pussy because there's a gimmick to it and maybe it'll help it stand out from the rest of them, because there's just so many, and some are very good and some are not good. I just watched one called Cell Phone that was like a Hollywood movie, and I wasted my time. And I just watched movies that were low budget that were really good.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is that it's hard for you to find them once they're made, and even they're out there on Shudder or Tubi or Netflix, because there's just a plethora of movies nowadays.
There's so many. There's so many. I mean, and that's why, like, originally when I started my channel a little bit over a year ago, I was doing indie horror movie reviews, and I would. And by the way, I'm back to people asked me to start doing them again, so I've started doing them again. I'm doing my Tubi Tuesdays again, but and people ask me, like, Travis, how do you pick a film to review? And like, because there's thousands of them. Like, if I go on the Tubi right now, go on the hard, there's literally thousands of them. And I literally, the ones that I pick, they got to have a catchy title and a poster that catches my attention. Mm-hmm. So that's what draws me in. I'm like, okay, let me watch this. Because if not, if you don't have that catchy title, if you don't have that poster, you're not even going to get someone to click on it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, that's the problem. I mean, it's good if you're a horror fan, because I am, and so now I can watch movies that aren't strictly Hollywood that are better in many ways. Mm-hmm. But sometimes you just spend the whole night going through Tubi, going through Shudder, looking for a movie, and you can't pick one because there's so many.
And then the ones you do click on, you're clicking out of 3 or 4 of them because the first 2 might be horrible. You're like, they're unwatchable. And then, so I mean, you spend the majority of the time trying to find a movie, and there's a lot of gems on Tubi and Amazon and these streaming channels that are indie horror. But like you say, and I've said it many times too, because there's no gatekeeper anymore when it comes to indie horrors, there's no filter anymore. There's so much shit on top of the diamonds. Mm-hmm. You gotta weed through a lot of crap. I mean, a lot of crap. And that's something for my movie reviews. Again, I'm going to watch. I'm going to go through each and every movie and go through the bad ones and tell you to stay away from these ones and go. But focus on these ones. These ones are good.
Yeah. And I think that's very needed, because I used to write video reviews for Independent Video out of New York, their magazine. And then I had my little thing way back in the 90s, VidBits, where I would review movies. But I would review just any movie. It would be comedy, sci-fi, doesn't matter. But there's so many horror movies because there's a market for that. And so then it really is needed for you to be reviewing horror movies.
It is. By the way, I want to give a shout out to, real quick, during the video. I don't know the name of this company that actually made this, but I found this on Amazon. And it has, if you do movie reviews or horror movie reviews, you definitely need this. It's called a Horror Movie Journal. And it is absolutely amazing. I don't want to skip it, but like, you can put the name of the movies and you have your little ratings, the director, it's absolutely amazing. If you do horror movie reviews, you need the Horror Movie Journal. I mean, it's absolutely amazing.
That looks cool.
Yeah, I didn't even know it was such a thing. So, shout out to Horror Movie Journal, because, I mean, this has saved my life. Made my job a lot easier.
Yeah, I would say. And then you can keep track, because sometimes they kind of run together with the subject matter, and you forget if you've seen one or not.
Exactly. Because I pound the movies out quickly, like boom, 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 boom. And I like to be able to keep notes on exactly, because sometimes it might be a week or two before from time watching the movie and actually making the review on video. Yeah. And I could forgot major pieces of the movie. So, yeah. I mean, definitely if you're doing horror movie reviews, in-type movie review, definitely grab one of those. So real quick, let's go shoot over. So you have another screenplay, which is called Toxic Pussy, but I love that fucking title too.
Well, thank you.
Okay. And you were telling me that beforehand that this movie has gotten some serious recognition. Tell us a little bit about Toxic Pussy.
Well, I wrote that a while back, and I entered the Atlanta Film Festival's Perfect Pitch, and it made it through until finally we had to pitch in front of studio heads at the CNN Center. And I knew it was going to go one of two ways. So they were either really going to hate it or they would really love it. And it made it to the top 3. But what was better for me even than that was whenever we were leaving the auditorium, the person who was putting together the newsletter and everything for the film festival said, I just don't know how I'm going to type that title. So, I mean, it's going to be controversial. I mean, it's just a farting cat. It's not my fault everybody has a dirty mind. I'm just counting on that.
Because when I saw the title, I was like this. Yeah, I mean, as a shit. All right, as a guy, I've definitely ran into some toxic pussy before, so I'm like, I wouldn't know where this is going to go.
Yeah.
I had no idea it was about a cat.
It's just a little cat that has been experimented on by animal researchers. See, I make fun of animal rights activists, and I make fun of animal researchers, and I make fun of cops, and make fun of blondes. But, you know, it's just all lighthearted and everything. But hopefully somebody will get a little bit offended and start picketing so that my movie will get more notice.
Yes. And I love that you are doing. I'm a huge animal person, and I'm like, wow, you see some of the fucking horrible things they do to animals, inhumane things to animals, just for research purposes, and especially for like things like makeup and stuff like that's not important or that's not life changing. Yeah. And it's kind of fucking sad.
It is, but see, when you make dramas or you make documentaries, you're kind of pushing your ideas on people, and that makes them go like that. But if you just kind of put it into your movie that's a raunchy comedy, then your message can still get across, but you're not hitting them over the head with it.
It's subtle.
Subtle. And I want to make a lot of money because I want the animal rights activists to get real mad, so I hope they don't know this. But I want to take part of the money and put it towards spaying and neutering feral cats.
That's amazing. I'm a cat person, and I used to work with, helping feral cats in the Baltimore area when I first moved out here. And yes, I definitely respect that.
But if they know that I'm doing that, then animal rights activists may not picket. So,
yes, I know. All right, so this cat has some experiments done on him, and now he's pissed off.
It's a she.
Oh, she. I'm sorry, she.
She. But the experiments are all funny experiments. They're not graphic or scary. And for this cat, has been fed nothing but food grown in toxic waste, and they haven't, done anything else to see yet to, like feed it regular food. Well, whenever the animal rights activists let the animals loose on society, which I also think is kind of bad, and it starts eating regular food, its stomach can't handle it. So then it farts toxic waste, and the people that are around it die. And it hooks up with a blonde, well-endowed, ditzy blonde who loves the cat, names it Precious, and takes it with her wherever she goes. And she's always getting into these little scenarios where she's being hit on or half undressed or, having sex. And then the cat farts and kills the person, but not her. Because I have ways for her to get out of the area where the cat's farting.
Diana, where'd you come up? Where'd you come up with the inspiration for this one?
Well, my nephew and we live in a rural part of West Virginia, and whenever we didn't have satellite or anything, for fun we would just take walks. And so we were just walking and we would talk. And so we were walking up the road, and my nephew said, "Oh, I think the dog farted. That's funny. You should write a movie about it." And I thought, oh no, it has to be a cat because then it has to be called Toxic Pussy. And so then I wrote it. And then the sequel is going to be called Dangerous Dick. And it's about a dog that pees fire and its owner gets blamed for being a pyromaniac.
Oh. Now, on the poster for Toxic Pussy, you got to have the blonde, right?
Yes, you got to have the blonde.
Yes. And the cat some kind of way. But
I would like to have the cat in some kind of way, and I'm not really good. If anybody has suggestions of what the tagline could be, the only thing I can think of is Quite a Tale. TAIL.
Oh, that's good. I'm gonna see if I can think of one.
Okay, because it's not as good as Zombies Need Love Too, but yes. I have one that's a slasher movie called Wood Nymphs, and the tagline is "This time payback really is a bitch." So it's not as good as that. So anything that I can get help, I'll take it.
See, I'm trying to think of something. I'm trying to put purrs in it. I'm trying to think of a concept where.
Well, see, I was going to say death by flatulence, but then that doesn't play well because she thinks she's the one with the toxic pussy. She doesn't believe it's the cat. She thinks she's the one with it, that she's accidentally killing people with her toxic pussy.
Okay, so how does she think? So
because guys will say, "You got a toxic pussy."
Oh, really? Oh, wow. Shit.
I even send her to the gynecologist, and the gynecologist examines her, and then he goes outside, and the cat's in the waiting room because she never goes anywhere without the cat, and it's eating his food that his secretary had brought, for him. And so then he knocks the cat away, and he's trying to pick everything up, and the cat farts, and then he crawls his way back into the exam room, and she's like, doctor, what's wrong? And he's like, you've got a toxic pussy. And then he dies. She's like, oh my goodness. And so then she thinks she's got a toxic pussy.
Now these guys must be assholes, because I'm not speaking for all men right now. No man is going to tell a woman that her pussy stinks. Like, that's something men just don't do. Now, I know a woman would tell a man if his stuff stunk. Like, yeah, because women are not afraid of hurting men's feelings, but a man would never ever. He'll just not talk to you anymore.
Yeah.
He's not going to tell you that your stuff stinks.
But he will when it's a cat.
Yes. He will tell you a cat, but I'm talking about, like, yes.
Yes, she's ditzy. Think Chrissy Snow with Stormy Daniels. That's what my character is like. So she doesn't know. She's always getting talked into doing things she doesn't want to do. And her friend is really not a good friend. And her boyfriend's not really a good boyfriend. And she just basically gets manipulated. She's not the brightest, but she's really good. She's a good, kind-hearted person. And so she really thinks she's accidentally killing these people through no fault of her own. And then she finds out, of course, that it is the cat. And then it's got, like I said, the police in it are tailing her because they think she's the one killing the people, because she's at every scene. But finally, one of the detectives, Detective Martial Law, finds out that it's not her, it's the cat. And so then he convinces her that the animal rights activists were not right for letting the animal loose on society because it's been killing people. And the researchers aren't good because they're the ones who did it. So why don't we drop the cat in, let the cat fart, we'll steal all the grant money from the research scientists, blame it on the animal rights activists. So that's what they do.
Everybody who's watching, by the way, leave in the comments if you have a good tagline for this. I'm trying to think of one right now, and I can't think enough. I'm trying to put purr in it, but if I think of one, I'll put it in the comments as well myself.
I guess you could say a perfect way to die. I'm not sure.
I don't know, because perfect way to die. A perfect way to die would see.
Well, it's after sex, a lot of the times.
But if the pussy is stinky though, then it wouldn't be
Yeah.
perfect. But I
But
mean, now,
again, it's the cat. See, you're still thinking something else. It's the cat.
but the guys are dying. Okay, hold on a second. So the guys are dying after they have sex with her.
A couple of them.
A couple of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
The rest are like the businessman lifts her skirt up and she turns around and slaps him and then leaves. And then the cat farts and kills him. And then she comes back and gets the cat. Different things like that. But they're always doing something. Coming on to her or wanting her to get naked or, making passes at her. Men don't come over looking very good and talk.
All right, all right. So I'm gonna have to think of a good punchline for this. And like I said, everybody's watching in the comments. All right, Diana, as you know, this is Horror Channel. I'm gonna ask you 3 random horror questions. These are your personal opinion. You ready?
Okay. Yeah.
All right. The first one. What was the first horror movie that you watched that really made you become a fan of horror?
Oh, that's hard to say. I've watched so many. I can say that the first one I remember watching at the time scared me to death was Let's Scare Jessica to Death. Now that I've seen it now, it's not scary at all. But then I was young and it really scared me. And so then I'm like, oh. And what makes me want to do it different is if I see something, I go, oh, they should have done that. So probably for that would have been Gargoyles.
Okay. And the second question I'm going to ask you. What is one horror movie trope or stereotype or common thing that you see that you're like, boy, that is stupid. I hate when I see that in a horror movie.
I love them all because then I can use them to my advantage. I can take them and spin them on their head. I guess if I'm going to pick anything, it's now with the stupid put the cell phones in a bag or put the cell phones in a locked safe or something just so that they don't have to figure out how to write something with a cell phone around.
That's a good one. That is a good one. I noticed that too. I'm like, that's fucking annoying. And the final question is, if you had to make your Mount Rushmore of horror villains, who would be your Mount Rushmore, your 4 horror villains?
Oh, my heavens. Well, it's got to be Jason because I'm a Jason fan.
Okay.
And I guess Freddy Krueger because he's iconic. I'm going to say Dracula because I love vampires. And then I'm going to say the werewolf from American Werewolf in London because I love that movie.
Ooh, that's a great one too. That's a good one too. By the way, they have not made a great werewolf movie in such a long fucking time. Like,
well, I did in 2006.
Oh, see, I haven't seen it yet because you sent me and I couldn't find it nowhere.
No, the distributor it lapsed and they haven't put it anywhere, and so now I've got to find another distributor for it.
Well, listen. As soon as you find a distributor, let me see that because I love werewolf movies. And
I'll send it to you. I'll snail mail it to you.
Oh, perfect. Because I would definitely love to watch it.
Because you haven't seen a werewolf movie like my werewolf movie.
Listen, now you got me excited.
Well, the tagline for it, the title is Creature of the Night, and the tagline is half man, half wolf, all animal.
Ooh. All right. I'm definitely going to watch it.
In case you don't notice, there's a lot of sexual stuff in my movie.
Yes, I can see you have a lot of sexual stuff in it.
I do, but I like to watch it.
So are you trying to, like I said, when you were writing, do you get inspiration from horror and like those romance novels?
Oh, I hate romance.
No, okay, because I've talked to a lot of women authors, and when they write their horror, it's not all of them, but some of them, when they try to give that romantic side to the book or the story. So when it comes to their books, it's more like a romantic novel. You see that a lot with like the True Blood books and stuff like that. It's yes, it's scary, but it also has this sexy sex element in it as well.
Well, I wouldn't say mine's like that. I would say mine's the opposite of that, because I do not like romance movies at all. And I don't like the Twilight stuff because real vampires don't sparkle.
No.
But there is sexuality in the vampire movies, like Lost Boys and different things. And so I would say mine's not more romance. It's more hooking up.
Okay.
And Virgin Zombies from Hell is the closest I'm probably ever going to get to writing a little bit of a romance in it because of the guy and the girl who got married and she misses him. I just don't like romance.
I 100% agree. I do like watching a romantic comedy every once in a while, but it's far and few. I 100% agree. I 100% agree because it's not believable at all. It's not.
Well, you're more likely to get killed by a serial killer than finding true love, but
yes, I 100% agree.
If it is a comedy romance, then I can watch it. If it's more comedic, then I can. I mean, and I do watch the others because I watch them with my sister, because she likes to watch that, and she almost kills me watching Hallmark and Lifetime. But I love my sister, so I watch them with her and try to steer her towards the mystery part of the Hallmark. But no, I'm not going to be writing any kind of romance, Harlequin romance type stuff in my stuff. If you pay me, I'll write it. But for me to write it, no, you'd have to pay me a lot of money to write it.
I love it, Diana. I love it. All right, Diana, where can everyone find you?
Well, you can find me through my manager, Matt Chasen. I don't have a website, but you can email me at contactdianacurry@gmail.com.
And on social media, Instagram, Facebook?
I'm on Facebook, but I don't have like a dedicated professional Facebook. I just still have my Diana Weiss Curry that I only joined because we were having a high school reunion, and so I had to use my maiden name so they know me from high school. But now that I have a manager, we'll probably have a website and different things. And until then, just like pester distributors about wanting to watch Creature of the Night.
It's freaking awesome. Freaking awesome. Diana, listen, it's been a blast having you on. I can't wait for you to send me the werewolf movie so I can watch it and talk to you about it.
Okay. I will send it right to you.
Yes. And I will actually do a review, a mini review for it too.
That'd be great.
Awesome. Well, listen, everybody. Any filmmakers, anybody want their distributors, or anybody who wants to support Diana and her two films, Virgin Zombies from Hell and Toxic Pussy. I love that fucking title. Please do so. Diana, you're more than welcome to come on anytime. Anytime you want to have me, I'm happy to be here. This wasn't too bad, right? This was easy, right? This is an easy first podcast, right? I told you it would be easy. Yeah. Yes. I'm glad. Yes. All right, everyone. Listen, well, thank you for coming to the Horror Room. I'm Travis Bruce, and that is Diana Curry. We'll see y'all next time. Bye. Take care.